أهلا بيكم طالبات وطلاب جريد 1 بريب. برحب بيكم ومع بعض هنبدأ حلقة جديدة ودرس جديد في الماث تحت رعاية وإشراف وزارة التربية والتعليم. النهاردة درسنا هيكون عن Parallelism وهنتعرف فيه عن alternate angles و corresponding angles و interior angles. So let's get started. Angles formed from two straight lines and transversal. In the opposite figure, the straight line N intersects the two straight lines L and M. The straight line N is called a transversal. In this case, we get 8 angles. Let's count them here. Number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, we got 8 angles. In this case, we got 8 angles at each point of intersection. Okay? 4 angles are formed, and these 8 angles could be classified according to their position relative to the transversal as follows. Number 1, alternate angles, and we are going to talk about each one of them. The second one, corresponding angles. The third is for interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Let's talk about pairs of alternate angles. Do you see 4 and 6, angle 4 and angle 6? They are in different sides from the transversal, which is N. 4 to the right and 6 is to the left. The second pair, 3 and 5. So we have 2 pairs of alternate angles. They should be in different sides from the transversal, one to the top and the other one is to the bottom, or to left and right. 4 and 6, they are in different ways, and the same for 3 and 5. And they are called alternate angles. Pairs of corresponding angles. And here we have to focus on 4 and 8. The 4 is under the line, under the first line, which is L, and 8 the same is under the second line, which is M. So both of them are under. Or here 3 and 7. 3 is under the line, but to the second side, and the same for 7 is under the line. So both of them should be under the line at the same side, or above the line and at the same side. So we have 4 and 8 corresponding angles, 3 and 7 corresponding angles. Then we are still in corresponding angles. 1 and 5 are corresponding angles because both of them are above the line. 1 is above the first line, which is L, and 5 is above the second line, which is M, and the same side. And also about 2 and 6. 2 is above the first line, which is L, and 6 is above the second line, which is M, and both of them are to the same side, okay, from that transversal. That's all about corresponding. Now let's talk about interior angles on the same side of the transversal. What do you see now? 4 is under the line, and 5 is above the second line. So 4 is under line L, M is above the line M, but they are on the same side from the transversal. And the same for 3 and 6. 3 is to the left, 6 is to the left. 6 is under the line L, and 6 is above line M. So in interior, both of them on the same side, but one of them is under and the other one is above, or to the left and the right, for example. Here we have this one. Now let's watch this video.
After we learned about 2 parallel straight lines and a transversal, now we will learn about the condition of parallelism of 2 straight lines. You should know that the 2 straight lines are parallel if a third straight line intersects them and one of the following cases is satisfied. The first case is if the 2 alternate angles have the same measure as we see in the figure. If the measure of alternate angles 1 and 2 is equal, that makes the lines L1 and L2 parallel. The second case is if the 2 corresponding angles have the same measure, So if the measure of the corresponding angles 3 and 4 is equal, that makes the lines L1 and L2 parallel. The third case is if the two interior angles in the same side of the transversal are supplementary. That means if the sum of the interior angles 5 and 6 equals 180 degrees, that makes the lines L1 and L2 parallel. Note that only one case from these cases is enough to make the two lines parallel.
هنا أنا حبيت أبدأ بالفيديو ده عشان نتكلم عن condition وهو if the two numbers are if the two lines are parallel. Okay? In each of the following figure, find the measure of the angle which is written under each figure. احنا عرفنا لما يكونوا two lines are parallel يبقى عندي ال alternate angles they are making letter Z and they are equal in measure. وكمان ال corresponding angles they are equal in measure. وآخر حاجة ال interior angles هيبقوا supplementary angles يعني السم بتاعهم هيكون 180. Question 1. We have two parallel lines. CD is parallel to EF. Find the measurement of angle CAB. Let's point to it. CAB. The first one is 55. B is given. EB is given, which is 55 degrees. How can we find the second one? Okay. What do you observe? They are to the same side. في نفس الجهة. Okay. 55 is under the first line, and the question mark or the question is about the under the second line, so we have the same measurement. So this one is 55 degrees. Okay, by which angles? We used which angles? Here, under and under, to the same side, so they are corresponding angles. Second example, CD is parallel to FE. The measurement of angle DAB is equal to 70. Find the measurement of EBN, this one, EBN. We have to use which angles? Okay, do you see letter Z? I'm gonna focus, let me write it with blue to be clear for you. This is letter Z. This is letter Z. Okay, what is letter Z? Letter Z, that means they are alternate angles. So this one is 70 degrees. Okay, how can we find EBN, the question mark? They are on the same straight line. They are making a straight angle, or they are supplementary angles. The sum should be what? Exactly 180. So how can we find the missing angle? We are gonna subtract 70 from 180 will give us 110 degrees. One more time. We start from the alternate angles. Do you see letter Z? I got 70, then I complete this 70 to be 180 because they are making supplementary angles. The third question is for find the measurement of angle A. The given is FEC, which is 115 degrees. What do you observe? We have three parallel lines. Okay? EF is parallel to CD. So what about 115? It's above the first line. And this C is under the second line. So they are supplementary angles. They are interior angles. Okay, so the sum is 180. So to find it, we are gonna subtract from 180. To get the difference, it's 5, then 6. 65. This one is 65 degrees. And from the star, that means this one also is 65 degrees. Then, with the red pen, do you see letter Z? This is letter Z. They are alternate angles, so this 65 is equal to the 65, which is angle A. So angle A is 65 degrees. Now, how to prove that two straight lines are parallel? زي ما شفنا في الفيديو إنه enough to get equal alternate angles or one of them or equal corresponding angles or supplementary interior angles. يعني السم بتاع الانتيريور angles يبقى 180. طيب let's read it. The two straight lines are parallel if a third straight line intersects them as transversal and one of the following cases is satisfied. Number one, two alternate angles have the same measure. Two corresponding angles have the same measure. Two interior angles in the same side of a transversal are supplementary يعني 180. السم بتاعهم 180. طيب. In each of the following figures, Y AB is parallel to CD. Okay, have a look. Here, line AB is parallel to line CD. Why? Okay, have a look. Do we have letter Z? Yes, we can write it, but to the opposite side. The first one, E, is 52, and the F is 52. So they are parallel by which angles? By alternate angles. Alternate angles. Okay, the second one. Here we have 54 for E and 126 for F. Okay, we have to get one of the three, the same alternate angles in measure, or the same measure for corresponding angles, or supplementary angles for interior angles. The sum is 180. Okay, if this one 126, so the other angle is 180 minus 126. Why? Who can tell me why? Because they are making a straight angle. They are supplementary angles. So when we subtract them, we will get 54. So this piece is, or this angle is 54 degrees. What do you observe? The first one is above this line, which is 54, and the second one, it's also above the second line, which is 54. Both of them are above, so by corresponding angles. Okay, the third one. Let me clear this one. AB is parallel to CD. This one, AB, is parallel to CD. Focus on the given. Here we have two parallel lines. Okay. I know one of them, 55, and the second one is 125. How can we get the third one? If I have two parallel lines, okay? So here, this one is 55 degrees. How do we know? They are making letter Z. The first one is 55, so the second one is 55. Okay, by which one? By alternate angles. Okay, now a straight line that is perpendicular on or perpendicular to one of the two parallel lines is also perpendicular to the other. If each one of two straight lines is perpendicular to the third line in the plane, then the two straight lines are parallel. يعني لو أنا عندي two parallel lines يبقى ال perpendicular على واحد منهم برضو هيكون perpendicular على the second one. طيب, if two straight lines are parallel to a third straight line, then these two straight lines are parallel to each other. يبقى هنا ال condition جاي ازاي؟ ال straight lines are parallel. أنا بدأت بال parallel. Okay? to the third straight line. Then these two straight lines are parallel. يعني one of them is parallel to 2, so they are all, the 3 lines are parallel to each other. If parallel straight lines divide a straight line into segments of equal length, then they divide any other straight line into segments of equal length. خلينا كده have a look على ال first line. Let me make it red. This is the first line. And from the dash, we know they are equal in length. Okay, احنا بدأنا ب 4 parallel lines. Okay, they are all parallel. And the transversal M, okay, cut this parallel lines to 4 equal length. AB is equal to BC is equal to CD. From the dash, we know that. What about the other transversal? EF, it's equal, and FG is equal, and GH is equal. Here I have to put a dash to be clear for you. So they are all equal in length. Then let's solve an exercises on the whiteboard. خلينا نشوف example مع بعض. In this figure, ray BA is parallel to ray DE. Calculate x plus y plus z. And here we have hint. Draw a line through C parallel to BA. That will help us. Okay, so here we have. I'm going to use this hint. From C, draw a parallel line. Okay, so I'm going to start with x. Transversal, this one. What do you observe? This angle, which is x, is under the first ray, which is BA. And this angle, I'm going to make it with red, here it is above the parallel line. So they are interior angles. They are supplementary angles. So the sum of these two angles are 180. The sum is 180. Now let's take the blue. What about Z? This Z and this one. They are parallel lines, and the transversal is this line. So this Z is equal to this part. Not equal, they are supplementary, they are interior. So the sum is 180 degrees. So here we have 180 degrees and then 180 degrees. So the sum of the three angles, x plus y plus z, is equal to 360 degrees. Okay, to be clear for you, we used the interior angles pi above DE and under this line, which is CZ, for example, CN. Okay, and then we used under BA, the red one, and above CN, they are interior angles and they are supplementary angles. The sum is 180. So I added 180 plus 180, the sum is 360. Okay, let's focus on the brief summary for today's lesson. We studied the parallel lines when we have two parallel lines and transversal. So the alternate angles, they are making letter Z and they are equal in measure. Then, if we have transversal for two parallel lines, the corresponding angles, they will be the same measure. And the last one, interior angles. Interior angles means what? One is above the line and the second one is under the line. Or one here, if we have, for example, this one. I have two parallel lines and that is my transversal. Here, inside, and here, inside. Okay? So one is above or one and the other one is under, or one to the left and the other one is to the right. They are interior and they are supplementary. The sum of them is 180 degrees. That's all about the lesson. I hope it was clear for you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.